following show contains adult content. It's not our intent to offend anyone, but we want to inform you that if you are a child under the age of 18 or get offended easily, this next show may not be for you. The content, opinions, and subject matter of these shows are solely the choice of your show hosts and their guests, and not those of the Entertainment Network or any affiliated stations. Any comments or inquiries should be directed to those show hosts. Thank you for listening.
Hey everyone, and welcome to 50 Shades of Bullshit. I'm your host, Christine Lalonde, and this is the podcast where we uncover the truth about online dating. Now let's begin.
Hey. It's another.
Hey.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Great. I'm Christine. I'm your host tonight for 50 Shades of Bullshit.
And I'm your co-host, Gabby.
Nice. Hi, Gabby.
Hi, honey.
I'm excited to see you. I feel like I haven't seen enough of you this week.
I know. I got super sick the end of last week, but much better now. Not COVID. Luckily, just that flu that's going around, and it knocked me on my ass.
Yeah. Lots of things knocked me on my ass, but I just get
bet they
right
do.
back up.
Yes, though. Yes.
A lot of weird things have happened this week for dating. The whole ghosting thing has been happening, which, I don't get too fazed about it anymore because it's just part of dating. But I've seen a lot of things pop up about it. It's like when it's brought to your attention, all of a sudden you start seeing all these things. And, Barry from last week did a quick Facebook talk on it today. And I saw an article and I was like, and it's funny because for me, when they ghost me, they don't stay away forever, which I wish they would, but they pop back up. They come around.
Yes, they do. I recently started seeing someone that I'm excited about. So I haven't been on the dating app and been spending time with this man, and two men from my past that I really expected to never hear from again reached out.
Kind of hope not to hear from again.
Yeah, like a bad breakup that I think it was one of our first shows when I was really upset with.
Right.
And
you got over pretty quick.
This new guy helped with that. But sent me an apology message on Snapchat and now wants to be friends.
No, thanks.
And I'm not gonna lie, the apology gave me some serious closure because he realized it was him and not me.
We knew it was him and not you. So.
Yes, and it was very lovely written, but then he wants to be friends, and I'm like, we weren't friends before, so
how can we be friends when we never were in the first place?
Right? Is that a default? Let's just be friends, No, I don't.
It's not you, it's me,
and it's totally you. It is totally you, sir.
Yeah.
And then when I was sick, my new man came down and or up. I think it's up and over because he lives in Illinois, so about an hour away from me. Yeah. And he came and took care of me for a few days.
That's nice.
Sweet. And he brought me roses that are still amazing.
Nice. I love that.
Sucker for flowers. And he took good care of me, made me dinner and food, and it was very sweet. But then today, another man that I blocked his number. I don't know how many people watch our show when you block their number and then they message you from another number.
Yeah.
They're like, hey, how's it going? Well, who the fuck is this?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's John. Why are you messaging me? I haven't spoken to this man in 6 months. We had a huge blow up. He was one of those where, I haven't seen or talked or heard from him since July. We had really great sex, but we wanted to kill each other when we had the worst communication back and forth.
Yeah, that doesn't work. Well, mine has been 6 years.
Shut up.
Yeah, I think, quite frankly, I'm going to be honest. I think I might have ghosted him because I didn't like how he was kind of a little disrespectful on our time together. I was going through this workout program and this food program, just to get me healthy. And
that's the one you got me on.
Yeah. And he mocked me and he mocked it and he made fun of me and I didn't really like it. So I think I might have kind of ghosted him. But then he saw me on the dating sites recently and then he popped back up and was like, I want to apologize. I wasn't so great. I really have thought about you all this time and I, want to see you. So I was like, okay, let's do this. So we started seeing each other and I was finding that I was contacting him more than he was contacting me. So I just kind of leaned back just to see, because he kept saying, I really want this to work. I really want to see where this goes. And so I was allowing him to do that and he just wasn't there. So when I broached the subject, he then disappeared again, which is actually great because honestly, that says a lot about somebody. I don't need somebody.
Is it ghosting when you both stop talking to each other? You know what I mean?
That's a good question.
Is there should we consult the dictionary? Because now I think ghosting is in there, by the way.
Is it in the dictionary
I
now?
think it really fucking is there. But
Well, you know what's funny?
You both don't reach out because it sounds like you weren't reaching out either.
A mutual ghost?
Could it be? Is that like a mutual ghost?
I don't know. I'm going to have to look that up because we are going to do an episode on ghosting. So when we do, I'm going to be prepared.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
I like that.
Fun.
So 6 years and then
we were seeing each other like once a week because that seemed to be all he had time for because he's, big, has his own company and he's busy. But whatever. And it's fine because when one door closes, other doors open and there's, potential with other people right now.
Your story. They're not your person.
They're not my person. And I'm perfectly happy with that because if he's going to behave like that now, when the times get tough and the going gets rough, is he going to be there for me? And most likely not, which is
absolutely.
Fine. And
just a shout out to LA because I'm from there originally. Go Rams! Just
saying. Rams, yeah, yeah.
So excited.
Gabby and I were FaceTiming after the game, and we were literally bouncing off the walls because the last time the Rams were in the Super Bowl, I went to Milwaukee and we watched it together. Yeah, so
you did, and we lost to the stupid Patriots. We look good though, girl. We look good at that bar.
We did. I saw pictures the other day. It popped up on my thing.
I know. I love that. Yes, I'm going to be throwing a Packers party. I'm going to be making it look good. Oh my God. Nice. So excited. But I had to do that, throw that out there. But my big thing is, it's when I feel like the moment you kind of get settled with someone where you're not hectic, you're really just enjoying one person, as I currently am right now. It's very, very new, but I like him. These random people pop up again in your life.
Yeah.
Why now? Why are you texting me? I don't care. Bye-bye. I don't need to be your friend.
That's good. That says a lot.
And I have not missed you at all. Why? And I mean, I blocked that motherfucker's number for a reason. So he messaged me from another number. As if he's and then he wrote unblock me.
I've had that. Hey, my friend Dawn is watching here and she's like, go Rams. Whoop, Dawn, we're going to shout out. Dawn's my other bestie here in Los Angeles. She's a health health and fitness coach. She's incredible and beautiful. We love you, Dawn.
We'll have to have you on, Dawn.
Yeah, she's married to a great man though.
But I bet she knows people, and those married people are our therapists sometimes. So I bet Dawn has some good stories.
Well, Dawn likes to hear my crazy dating stories. So,
who doesn't?
Today our episode today is called "From Single to Taken." We're going to be talking to Christiana Maxion. Oh my gosh, I'm terrible with names, but I think I got it right. Maxion. She's the top tier Dubai matchmaker and international dating coach. She's amazing and she's beautiful. She's also known as the Dubai dating guru, and she's going to talk to us about some incredible stuff. Oh my gosh, you remember Bettina from a couple of shows ago? She is on watching now. Bettina, go kitchen door. Woo-hoo! So yeah, glad to see everybody's hanging out with us. We appreciate the shout outs. We love you guys too. So let's bring in Christiana.
Yes.
Hey. Hi.
Hello. Hi, ladies. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Thank you for joining us. What
Yes.
time is it in Dubai? Is it like 4 a.m.?
It's 4 a.m. and I woke
Oh.
up and I'm prepared just for you, girls. So I'm excited to be here and thank
And
you for having me.
Look at you all bright and glowy and shiny and chipper for 4 a.m.
Well, thank you. I'll take that compliment. I won't even rebuttal.
No, you shouldn't, because you're beautiful. We're so
Thank
excited to have you. Thank you for joining us here today. So tell us, what are your thoughts on this whole ghosting thing? I know you have some.
I do. Well, I was published in Cosmopolitan magazine talking about what to do after you got ghosted. And I really think that you should let the dead rest in peace. Never contact them. And what I say is you should ghost the ghoster. If you feel that
There you
vibe
go.
that they're ghosting you, literally block them on every single channel. That includes socials as well, so that there's no communication or any way to contact. But like you said, some people make up new numbers and try to contact you. But I'm telling you, silence is deadly, and just leave it like that.
So like my thing where, I one time when someone ghosted me, I reported their profile on a dating site just so maybe they get kicked off.
So I wouldn't do that, only because I believe in karma and
Yes,
energy,
I
and
do
what
too.
you put out there, you get back.
Hence, I'm still single.
No, that's not it. There's a shoe for every foot. You're gonna find your right partner.
There is. I love that. So in Dubai, you actually coach both male and female. What's the difference in that dynamic for you? Because I think a lot of coaches either coach women or they coach men. What's that like for you?
So basically in Dubai, I'm a matchmaker here. I'm a top tier matchmaker, but I'm also a dating coach. And the way that I work with, and I've coupled those two together because I think that they go really well and they just help basically in both industries. They complement one another. So the way that I help men is through matchmaking. I'm a matchmaker for men. And it's really funny because the men that come to me are elite, they're successful, and they think that they have it all. And that's where some dating coaching comes in. And I'm like, okay, let's do this. Let's talk about how to attract the right partner. And over here, like my whole tagline is that I say I help men repel gold diggers. Because Dubai is very, I'll just leave it at that. So with that being said, I coach them in how to actually have direction in dating and what kind of conversations you should be having on dates in order to figure out if this person is the right partner for you and is going to complement your life and basically want to be with you for a life instead of a lifestyle. And that's how I really work with men.
Oh, I like that. I like for a life instead of a lifestyle. That's
Hal, you're in an area where they are quite wealthy.
Yes. I think it's like, I heard the number the other day and I know I'm going to get this wrong. It's like over 700 millionaire or something like, sorry, I know I'm getting that wrong. It's like thousands and thousands.
Why am I in Los Angeles?
Yeah, I was about to say, I think we need to move. I'm not a gold digger though. I'm a nurse, so I can handle my own shit. But it's nice. It sounds nice. It's good.
I'm making my own coin. Okay.
Well, the thing is, what I say is that if you are a person, a woman especially, right? Instead of I really don't like that term gold digger, but it's just something that resonates with everybody. So it's like a common term. But I say if you are a person who is successful and independent, you're not a gold digger. You're somebody who values financial freedom. And that's a different way or perspective to look at it.
Yes. I was talking to somebody recently about finances, about, because I do a lot of manifesting, and one of those is financial freedom. And they said, what do you think your end goal is for wanting to have, wealth in your life? And I said, financial freedom, to help the people I want to help, to do the things that are productive, to live the life that I need to live, doing the things I want to do. And I don't mean like jet setting everywhere. I'm talking about, doing business wise, the things that I want to do.
Well, so the thing is, like what you're saying, we create the world that we want to live in. And like we do this through lots of brain power. And I think that manifesting is so important. And it actually links to dating and dating coaching as well, right?
Yeah, it does. Actually, I've heard a lot of that. I manifest for financial freedom, wealth. I manifest for love and a solid relationship. And I think that's really important. And I don't think a lot of people stop to think about how important that may be, because you're right. It's all right here. The strength and the power to manifest is all about believing.
Not gonna lie, I've been trying to manifest like some lotto numbers, but that shit ain't happening.
Are you buying the lottery ticket?
Got like $250 million. I need to be friends with him. No.
Well, if you are focused on manifesting, right, what you should do instead is focus on a monetary value, right? A number. And basically, when you say it out loud, you can have like a little mantra with that. Is that you say, by this date, blah, blah, I will earn X amount of US dollars. And from there, you're going to say, how is it? Like, oh, that you will put in like all of the work to like get you there. And this money will come and flow to you from many different angles. Because then when you're open to it, if you have a specific goal, but you don't have like that specific route, because like people say, you plan, God laughs, right? So just have that like specific goal in mind, but then be open, let the universe know that you're open to attract it from different angles, avenues, roads, and things like that.
You know, I this is not anything to do with
okay, I'm not sure what happened, but where she went or not. But hey, quick question. So let's say, okay, so how do they connect with you? They contact you via your email, via your website. What is the first step that you vet with the men that reach out to you?
Okay. Oh, sorry, guys. I clicked the wrong button.
No, sorry, I just asked her a question, so hang with tight.
Okay, what's your question?
Should I repeat? Well, I will.
Repeat the question.
I'll just say it.
Yeah,
so
why don't you do it? Yeah.
Yeah, so basically, Gabby had asked me like how I vet the men that come to me. And because I have an elite service, a top tier service, there's a certain price tag that's on that. So that kind of like weeds out the guys a little bit when it comes to the matchmaking that I do. Because the women that I have in my database, it's a private database, and you will never find these women on the dating apps. They are C-level women, they're lawyers, they're entrepreneurs, they're models. And that's why these men come to me, because I have a completely vetted, I won't say bulletproof because nothing's 100% in this world, but I try my best for it to be just only quality women in this group who have the same goals of a long-term relationship. Something that's very popular in Dubai, and I hate to say this because it makes it sound really bad, is that married men are on dating apps. And I'm sure it's popular everywhere, but it seems to be something that's like really, really prevalent here, because Dubai is kind of like that transient city. People come in, people go out quite quickly, especially for work. So what I say is that, and it's very clear on my website, very clear when I interview people, like I vet them through that process, is that I only work with single men who are actually committed and ready for a long-term relationship. Because the women, and the women in my database, they're not going to come to me for some short-term kind of thing. And that's the price
from going on dating sites, the women that are in your database? Is it like kind of like a
No. They can do what they want, but because Dubai is it's a small place and it's a private place. And before, like it really, I mean, I wouldn't say it was illegal, but I mean, technically like illegal to like be like on dating apps and this. And if your employment has seen you're on a dating app, there could be like some rift with that, because your visa and like living out here is based, or for some people is based on your employment.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you have a program that is called From Single to Taken in 5 days.
45.
45. Did I get that wrong?
Again.
Oh my God. I was thinking this woman is like, wow.
Guru.
Yeah, I was about to say, babe, we're moving to Dubai. 5 days? Let's go.
In 45 days.
Yes. So basically, I mean, I do say 45 days, but you can accelerate the program because
I'm ready for 5.
Yeah, no, 5 days. Well, I do have 5 modules, so you could do them back to back to back to back, but I don't recommend that. But yeah, but basically, in my coaching program, I really personalize it, and I have the options of live, 1-to-1, or small group. And what I do is in these modules, I have like 5 different steps with it, right? And the first one, we do like a dating download, and I call this breaking through past patterns. It's where you really analyze your past relationships, and I say we choose 3, right? 2 of your most significant and 1 of the most recent. And the recent could even be a situationship. It's just the most recent one. And basically, we do a download on that with like pros, cons, initial attraction, and we try to spot patterns. And we even go over like why you split, just to like, you know, like we're talking before, like manifesting, kind of like getting that energy out. And then from there, we look at your pros list and we look at your cons list, and we say
now
things
your
like,
program. What's the success rate?
With the from single to taken?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh gosh, I have over 80% success rate in both matchmaking and from single to taken. So you attract somebody right away, because
honey,
like,
we're gonna go on a 10-day vacation to Dubai.
Now though you're from single to taken program, they don't have to be in Dubai to take that though, do they?
No. And it's international, right? So basically, because I work with women in Vancouver, I work with women in DC, in New York, so I do work with people in the States. West Coast is harder, but it's fine. We always figure it out.
How about the Midwest, babe?
What was that?
I'm in Wisconsin.
Oh, okay. We could do Wisconsin.
There we go.
Where is that? I'm just kidding.
No, I know where that is.
We're the flyover states.
I'm from New York. And I went to school at Notre Dame. So I'm familiar with the Midwest. Yeah.
Nice.
Yes, you are.
I love that
you're not from Dubai.
No, I'm from New York. Yeah.
And how did your business start? I mean, like, and you're now in Dubai, like.
Yes.
I need a little background, because I'm just like,
no. Let's talk about it. I grew up in New York, and my whole family lives within like 10 to 15 miles of one another. And I never ever thought I would ever leave New York. I met a guy who was on a business trip. We met in Manhattan, and we had like this really like whirlwind romance. You can actually listen to it on my podcast, Dating in Dubai, episode 1, because I call it my UAE breakup story.
I love that.
So now I know the ending.
It's a great ending, because look at where I am right now.
Yeah.
So basically I had moved to the UAE for love. We had split. It's a really traumatic breakup. You should listen to it. But through that, basically I kind of like rose from the ashes like a phoenix, and I really
that's what women do.
Yeah. And instead of going back to New York, I was like, no, I signed a contract. I'm going to be here. I really rose in my career very quickly. And then I switched industries. Now I'm in the dating and love industry, and I found so much success with that. And honestly, I think that a lot of the time we tend to curse our exes. Oh, F this, F that, F that. When instead now I'm all like, thank you so much to this person for bringing me to the UAE, because without him, I would still be in New York and maybe in a very, very different career than something I actually truly love.
I love that. Tell us really quick what your podcast is called, so our listeners can go and check it out.
Yeah, so it's called Dating in Dubai. And basically, I say it's an expat expose on what dating really looks like for singles in the Middle East. And I usually have on a lot of like Western expats, but I also bring on people from the Middle East, from South Asia. And it's really a kind of collection of like dating in Dubai, but like around the world, like by the map. So it's kind of fun.
I love that. Well, I'm going to check out your podcast, because I'm completely obsessed with podcasts, and I listen to them in the car. So I'm going to let you know what I think, because I'm super excited about it. So let's talk about the other thing that we wanted to talk about. You had mentioned to me before about deleting apps, like dating apps? And then what's your next step after you delete those apps? Tell us about that, because we have a very special guest that's a very good friend of mine, Bettina. She was on not too long ago and talking about the con man, the kind of men she runs into. And she's actually listening tonight, and she literally, Facebook did this thing yesterday that said she's done with the app. So I think that this could be very beneficial for our listeners.
Love you, Bettina.
Well, and also it's very topical. Did you guys watch the Tinder Swindler?
I'm about to watch it.
I'm a little nervous too. I haven't been on Tinder.
I'm on it.
Of course you are.
So Tinder out here is the #1 dating app because it's a very international app.
Yes.
And so when you watch the show, I don't want to spill anything, but it's really eye-opening.
Is it going to give me nightmares? Because
no, it won't. And the thing is, I love that they created this show because it creates more of an awareness of all of these con men, con women that are out there, and kind of gives you like the signs to recognize or those red flags. So I'm so happy that somebody had created this, and it's really sad that it's such a true story. You're like,
I wrote a whole thing about it, and it's one of our topics that we're going to be very soon talking to. We have someone who developed an advocacy for it, and they're coming on the show. So we're actually going to educate our listeners, which I cannot wait to do. But yeah,
it's crazy how prevalent that is. Very. I mean, I can like Christina's. I don't know if you know Christiana. Like, she's my best friend. And we've been best friends for like 7 years, 8 years, 7 years, 7 years. We met at a CrossFit challenge, but I don't work out. I don't like it. I don't do it. And so I lasted maybe 3 days. So I just kept her. But we have multiple times, like, I'm talking to this guy and he sounds great. He's from Texas. Oh, but he said he's overseas and he's coming back, and that now he can't come back. He needs money.
Yes. No.
Yeah.
You know, or they'll only communicate on WhatsApp, or, you know, one of those like the kick, like KIK or whatever, you know, the catfishing, the pictures and everything like that. I mean, it's so prevalent that it's like shocking. Yeah, and I reached out to the guy the guy used the pictures to catfish.
Interesting.
It was really weird, but I was just like, hey, you don't know me, but
yeah, you're like, but we've been dating the past month.
we've been in a very intimate relationship for the past 2 weeks, and yeah,
I've seen you naked. Yeah.
So the reason why I say to delete the dating apps, right? So obviously, I literally wrote this article like a couple days ago, and then Tinder Swindler came out, and I was like, man, I should have put that as another reason, but I didn't even think about it because fortunately I've never experienced that before. But the reason why I say to delete it is because right now, or at least in Dubai, they've already announced that there is no lockdown in any near future, right? So Dubai is very open. And I think that also will trickle down to other areas in the world as well. And the reason why you delete them is because of something like this, but you need to get used to dating in the wild again and really like putting yourself out there. And I always say though, before you know that you're ready to actually date somebody, don't forget to date yourself. Create a love yourself list of 10 to 15 things that make you innately happy. This list isn't for anybody but yourself. So if you really enjoy eating chocolate in the bubble bath, write that down. Like, this has nothing to do with anybody else. And I would promise to yourself to do to do 1 to 2 things on that list every single day. And then also pick up a new hobby or perfect a craft, learn something new, perfect your craft in something else, and do hobbies that involve socializing, right?
Yes.
So, and then with that, firstly, you're there to really gain a new experience or to further your knowledge in something. So not only are you dating yourself, but then you have the off chance that you might actually make a romantic connection. And you're most attractive when you're so involved in yourself. Trust me.
I love that you said it. It's like, you know, dating in the wild again, because that literally, that's how it feels. And it's not it's not so comfortable anymore. Like,
no, it's really not. And I will say this, that for people, especially like who might suffer from like anxiety around dating, or maybe not feel like they're so super ready yet, I always recommend a group date. Go on group dates, okay? So a group date could be maybe your friend matched with somebody on an app, or met somebody in a bar, or at, I don't know, a yoga class or something like this. And what you could do is say, hey, I have 2 girlfriends that I already promised I'm going out with tonight. Why don't you bring 2 guys, and we can, I mean, there's something that I like to do in Dubai is Top Golf. And I know that there's Top Golf in the US. So you can do something like that, like an activity group date. And guess what? Maybe the first guy initially that you thought you fancied might be one of his friends. So
You know, I just literally had this conversation with my friend Dawn just before the show. She was supposed to have a onesie birthday party this Saturday. And I've been talking to somebody, and I said to him, I know, she's the shit. We were talking, I was talking to this person, this gentleman, and it was going very well. And he asked me when I was free, if I was free on Saturday. And I said, actually, how spontaneous are you? He said, very. I said, how adventurous are you? He said, very. I said, how would you feel about going to a onesie party with me on Saturday? He said, I'm down. So the onesie party is actually not happening, but my friend Dawn is still, her and her husband are still going out, and we're going to double with them.
Please say not in onesies. Please say not in onesies.
No.
Okay, just checking.
Though my onesie is
I was
really
gonna throw
hot.
the best friend card out there, like, babe.
My onesie is sexy. But yeah, I asked him to go on this group date. And I was just saying to Dawn that I think that it's really smart to do something like that. 1, you're safe.
Yes.
And 2, the most important thing is that you can't hide who you are in front of your friends. So
yes,
yeah.
I totally agree. And also they will be your sounding board as well. Because let's be honest, sometimes when like you first start dating somebody, you put yourself in a love bubble and you kind of have like rose tinted glasses on. So something that I also tell my clients is to journal after every single date. And when you journal and you document how the date went, how they made you feel, pros and cons, however you want to write it. It's like a diary entry, right? But this is a record of how you felt, how they made you feel. And you can always refer back to it instead of maybe always seeing or putting them on a pedestal, always seeing the bright side. This is some kind of record for reference.
Well, oh my gosh.
In my past, when I've like, let's say, introduced a man that I was dating to like my best friend out here in who Christine knows, Marin, who's one of my girlfriends, and let's say her boyfriend, we would go out on a group date. I was so concerned with how he was presenting that I wasn't so comfortable. I wasn't loose. I wasn't like carefree. I was so concerned about her impression of who I was seeing that I was analyzing. I'm an analyzer. It's important for me, for the people that know me and love me, like Christine and Marin, they're my best friends. They're so important for me for them to like and be able to see me with that person.
So then though, don't you think that fear or insecurity is a red flag?
For sure. Obviously. Okay.
Well, yeah, because the thing is, right? Like I mentioned earlier, there's a shoe for every foot. If that person is going to fit into your life, they will seamlessly fit into your life, and stop forcing it. And I like actually having the group date early on, having them meet your friends early on, because then you get a different perspective on it. And yeah, if you are feeling anxious about how they're going to be, or always questioning, or always this, he's not the right person for you.
I am going to do the journal. I just wrote something down because I'm gonna say this out loud, and then I'm gonna say TM trademark TM. I'm gonna write it, and then I think I'm gonna write it as Confessions of a Serial Dater.
There you go.
So I'm curious, Christiana, like can you pick a client in your kind of your profile or in your booklet, that was, he probably was kind of like the classic example of all of your other male clients and how his experience through your program worked. Oh, I love it. See, I do that too. Then I tweeze them later.
Okay. So I won't get into specifics because I really hold a lot of confidentiality with both my clients and my members. But I will say that I actually happen to have a lot of clients that are in the crypto world. And I call them crypto boys. And the reason why I do this is because when they come to me, I help them to become men.
I love
it. No, I mean, especially, so when I think about like this crypto boy that I work with, they're basically someone who is, at least in my experience, highly intelligent, highly eccentric. They've made a lot of money quite quickly. They think that the world is all beautiful models, 10s, yachts, luxury restaurants, Burj Al Arab, helicopter. This is what their view on the world is, right? So it's funny when they come to me and they do this whole thing. She needs to be 5'10", blonde, a lawyer, but also a yoga instructor. She needs to be successful, but then also can travel the world. She needs to do this. A whole long list of this whole thing I do that I call a compatibility code. And it's funny because when they do that, right, then I always go, and I hold up the mirror because I've created something here. I call it the Dubai Dating Do-Over. And basically, it's a full, complete makeover. From top to bottom, you see my celebrity stylist. You have a VIP hair experience. If you're a woman, like that's how I work with women. They get a makeup tutorial. You do a detox. You work with a personal trainer. And through that, it's like dating yourself. But then what happens is I find you 3 first date matches. There's no communication exchange between your matches. I actually book all of the dates and restaurants and all of this. It's a full comprehensive concierge dating service. And basically I get feedback from both parties afterwards.
Are you there?
No. I got time for that.
I feel like I see Judge Judy in my head, like, you know what I mean? I'm seeing you there and I'm like, no, objection. Like, you'd be like, no, enough of that.
Well, I do mock dates. With those that need a mock date, I set them up with one of my girls and I get feedback from both. So that is a service that I do add in. And it's not to be critical of somebody. I do the mock dates when somebody maybe doesn't feel comfortable dating one-on-one. So I do like the date talking.
Great idea.
I coach the person that I'm putting them on a mock date with. I do the date talking walkthrough with them. So then at least they have like one kind of round with it. And then it gives them more confidence. And when I do the Dubai Dating Do-Over, it's all about confidence, right? Wow, now you have a new suit on, you just got your hair done. I'm coaching you through my program where not only are we breaking through past patterns, you're building your ideal partner, we're creating these dating opportunities now, mastering the first date, perfecting the second date and beyond. And then after the 3 first date matches, they choose who they want to go on a second date with. And I help them through that process. And then they have the option to continue like getting coaching from me beyond that. But usually then they just take it from there.
That's amazing.
Do they only get the person's information from you? So like they each go on that first date and then they come back to you and be like, I'd like, door number 3.
Yeah.
And
so the way that it works is that I get feedback from both parties directly after. And they voice note me, I listen to them, and I talk to both parties the next day.
That's great.
And I line up like the first dates, like usually back to back to back, or like depending on their travel schedule. And and I mean, sometimes one person likes the person and the other one doesn't like the other person. And then I just gently say, I think it's better if you guys are friends. But because they haven't exchanged contact information, I feel like they're more honest with me, which I like, because then they get an actual true experience. I think that's why my success rate is so high. Is because they're like, really specific about their feedback because they don't have any fear that the other person's going to bang off their phone later on.
Now, do you have any like kind of like rules, like, no sex within 3 months? Like that was from Millionaire Matchmaker because I watched Bravo. Dude,
love it.
But like I've always heard from different people, like, don't have sex within like the first 8 dates or 7 dates, and only drink, this amount of alcohol on your dates, or, and that's actually something I don't know about anyone else, but, like, I'm one of those people where it's like, I'll keep, if I'm enjoying your company, I'll have another beer. I'll have another beer. And I won't think like, oh, I should only have 3 beers because it's our first date. And just like,
Well, the way that I think about it is that you should be very lucid and clear on a date, because then you have to journal after. So I do say that, whatever your limit is, because if it's an amazing date, don't you want to remember every single bit of it? So I do tell clients and members like 2 drinks, but I don't say that that's a rule for me. I just say be conscious of your drinking, because also a lot of the feedback I get on dates from the other person is they drank too much. They got really drunk, and it's not attractive whatsoever on both parties, men, women. It's really not attractive.
Do you think that's partially because of where you are? Because
I
live in Wisconsin. Just remember that. I live in Wisconsin. So, like, these people drink like I've never seen. Hollow up.
Well, the thing is, I'm not too sure if it has to do with location, but because of the clientele that I work with that are like top tier professionals, they're looking for long-term relationships and probably not just a party boy or a party girl.
Yep.
So it's not very attractive when the other person does that, especially as like a first date impression. Of course, listen, you're going to have time for you guys go crazy and you go wild, but I would say a first date wouldn't be that time to do that.
I agree. My rule is I rarely drink anyway, but if I'm going to go out with somebody and if they're having one, I'll have one and only one. If they're not drinking, I won't have one at all. But you also talk about how to master the first date, and we're talking a lot about first dates right now. I'd love to know some of your other things. We've got about 8 minutes left with you, and I'd love to hear some of that.
Yes, for sure. So basically, with the from single to taken in 45 days, right? We do your breaking through past patterns, talk about that, loving yourself. And then in the second module, we talk about building your ideal partner. And this is the exact formula that I do with all of my matchmaking clients, called a compatibility code. And then we get into the manifesting, writing your perfect weekend and all of this, and so important. And then in the creating dating opportunities, this is where I say, get off the dating apps. This is how you're going to go out in the wild, this and that. But then module 4 is about mastering that first date. And it's so important. And listen, I might be old school, but I always say an acceptable first date is a bite to eat. Period. And the reason why you do a bite to eat is because, firstly, that's effort on both parties. And if your actual goal is to have a long-term partner, that both parties should be putting in the effort to sit down for a meal. I hear a lot that people say, oh, a coffee is a first date.
Nope,
no, a coffee is short and a coffee is cheap. And this is not an interview. It's not an interview. And
nothing has ever come from a coffee date, ever, for me.
A job,
I don't like it. And it's never my choice. I absolutely hate it. And I tell them right off the bat, I don't want to do a coffee date. And then they still say, oh, let's go for coffee. I was like, oh my God.
No, I'm okay. Actually, I'm too busy for coffee.
Yeah.
So actually, if somebody does do that, something that I would say, especially if it's a dating app, whatever, say, oh, I would much prefer to have lunch or dinner, whatever you feel most comfortable with. And listen, this doesn't mean it's a blowout 6-course white tablecloth dinner. Exactly. It's literally just it could be a casual thing. But it's literally sitting there, being able to look at that person face to face, see their reactions to questions, listen to their answers, and observe how they not only treat you, but how they treat others. And one of the things that, me being traditional again, etiquette. Oh my gosh. When I see somebody using a fork and knife like a caveman, I'm like, he's not ready. He's not ready to have a real relationship. He can't even pick up his fork right.
Yes. Yeah. I went on a date where he like tucked his
like
napkin.
Nice. Hello, baby.
Right? That's where my mind went. And literally like my imaginary boner just went whop.
Well, Gabby has mentioned many times that she will go on a date with somebody and they'll come in board short type shorts and a t-shirt and put no effort in. And I think by going on those type of dates and seeing,
but I've been labeled as high maintenance out here because I will go out looking like this, like I'll have jewelry on, I will, but out here, and I don't know necessarily, it probably is, you know, where I live, like it's you know, it's you know, but you went to Notre Dame, so you know what I'm talking about. I know what I'm talking about, where they're like country boys, and it's like, look, like you're not meeting the boys at the watering hole, like you're trying to take me home tonight. Like,
hold on, I'm from Wyoming, and those are real country boys, and they still put their best jeans on, their best boots on, their best buckle, and their best shirt, and their best fucking hat. So can't tell me that putting on a little bit of effort doesn't say a lot about somebody.
And also, right, if you need to attract the right partner for you.
Yes.
And if you're a person that gets dressed up, and you should on a first date, and this is something else I talk about for women, right? In terms of like styling tips, you need to think about like your best asset. And let's say you have the greatest boobs and the greatest butt. Don't show off both at the same time. Pick one. Pick what you have great legs, amazing. Show off one asset, right? On a date. Mm-hmm. I always recommend heels because I just think it makes you feel more confident, makes you feel sexy. And yeah, obviously, I mean, but this isn't so obvious. Like people sometimes, I'm talking about men mostly, forget to shower before a date. Don't forget to shower before a date.
I mean, like I've had guys like leave work and come and meet me, and I'm like, do you have deodorant in the car? Like,
it depends. It depends what their work is. I don't know. It just depends. But I would also say for mastering the first date, people need to remember that the goal of a first date is to just figure out what your vibe is. And if your energies match, you don't need to have any deep conversations about exes. You don't need to have any deep conversations about politics, religion, nothing. Because it's literally, you just want to see if you two match. And a way to like, I think, have a great first date is to start off with like icebreakers. And with like icebreaker questions, yeah, they might sound cheesy, they might sound corny, but they give you insight into a person. For example, you can ask them what their dream job was when they were younger versus now. This gives you insights into their ambitions. You can ask them questions about, you know, the 3 wishes from a genie question. This gives you insights into their priorities, and it's lighthearted. It's fun. And you also, their priorities, like, do they hold their family to a high standard? Or are they putting health first? Are they doing this? Are they thinking about worldly things? And then see how you align there. And I always say, like, surface topics are great. Hobbies, interests, travel, things like that.
I love that.
I
love that. So we only have a couple of minutes left, and I think that you are amazing, Christiana.
Amazing.
You are amazing. I don't think that a lot of people think that dating coaches are necessary, or don't even think about it. They hear about life coaches maybe, but I don't think a lot of people think about dating coaches. And I've mentioned it recently to several people, and people keep saying, wow, I never thought about that. So I love being able to talk to someone like a matchmaker of your quality and your insights for dating coaching, because I think it's really important that people learn to date the proper way and you know, putting forth what they're looking for and therefore in return. And I think the note lately for almost all of our shows has been date yourself, get to know yourself.
And I totally agree with that. And basically with my whole program, I feel like a lot of people date with the thought in their mind, does he or she like me? Instead of, I want to flip that script. And now every single time you go out, every single time you do something, do I like him or her?
Yes,
or
100%.
Yeah. Do I like the other person rather than do they like me?
Exactly. Well, thank you very much for coming on today. I absolutely adore you. I think you're wonderful. And if anybody wants to check out her podcast, it's called Dating in Dubai. I highly suggest it. If you need a really great dating coach, please reach out to her. And if you're going to be in Dubai and want to match up with some really incredible people, check her out. So thank you, everyone. Gabby, I love you as always. Thank you, everyone, for being here with us today. I'm so sorry our time's run out. because it goes so fast. It means we're having fun. But please come back next week, same time, same place. And until then, let's keep it real.
Yeah. Bye, everyone.
If you enjoyed this episode, please share with your friends, like and follow us on Instagram at 50 Shades of _bullshit and Facebook at 50 Shades of Bullshit. Thanks so much for listening, and we really hope to see you again next week.